Okay, so we're going to do a quick video on how to set up dizqueTV with Plex. So you can read all about dizqueTV here. One thing that this is going to require is a Plex server and Plex Pass. I have a Plex server already set up. One thing we have to do is create a shared volume between the two. So on my Plex server, I mount this home Docker Plex share as a volume, and on my dizqueTV server or container, we're going to do that same share or folder as a volume, and we're going to put that's where the XMLTV is going to go. So first thing we have to do is, we have to create the home Docker dizqueTV. That's where I put everything. So home Docker, and we already have it here. I'm just going to remove the contents of it so we can start fresh. Then we have to create the home Docker share, Plex share dizqueTV. That's where the XML file is going to go. And the reason we have to do that is so dizqueTV and Plex can both read and write to that same XMLTV file. So dizqueTV creates that XMLTV file, and Plex reads it. And the Plex DVR needs a relative path to Plex, and so Plex is in a container, so we share that path between the two. So the next thing we have to do to share that file is we have to touch that file. And I'm doing this all on Ubuntu. We have to touch the file first, or Docker, when it creates the container, is going to make that as a directory instead of a file. So we are going to create the container. And then we can go to the URL for the container. We can see here, we just go to the IP address of the server, then 8000. 8000 is taken from here. So next thing we have to do is connect it to Plex. So we go to settings, then Plex, and I'm going to do that. So now all my Plex servers are added. The one we're going to worry about is Glory. So now we can go back to channels. Then we can add our test channel. So we're going to do the plus. We're going to set the channel name. We're just going to call it my TV. You can set the icon. You can make the icon be overlaid on the stream. So we're going to do bottom right. It's going to be there for 60 seconds. You can put a URL for any icon there. So we're going to go to programming. We hit the plus. And this is where we select what content we want to be in this channel. So we're going to do Highway Through Hell. We're going to do Fat Guys in the Woods. Then we're going to do Northwoods Law. So this basically adds all those shows to be random shows on the channel. Then we can click Tools. This is how you configure the channel. Like, do you want it to be random shows, whatever. You can go to the GitHub wiki page for dizqueTV and start looking at this and figure out how you want to do it. But I'm just going to do randomize in block shuffle for now. So it's basically going to be like episode 1, episode 2 kind of thing. So then we're going to add the channel. We have it here. We can go to guide. This is kind of a sample of what the guide looks like. We can see here it's episode 1, episode 2, episode 1. Kind of random, kind of not, but it's going to be random shows, but it's going to be sequential. So now what we want to do is this is going to show up as a HD home run DVR in Plex. So we're going to go to Plex, and then we want to go to our settings. Then we're going to go to Live TV and DVR. And then we want to set up a Plex DVR. So that's my extend. We don't want to use that, so we want to do you know the IP address? So we're going to do that, and then we put in the IP address of our dizque server with the port 8000. So we'll connect. So it's going to say Silicon Dust dizqueTV. We're going to hit continue. So we just have one channel, my TV. We're going to hit continue, and we don't want to do the guide from postal code. We're going to do XMLTV. And here is where we're going to paste in the relative path for that file on the Plex server. And so for us, on the Plex server, when I created it, I did plex-share, and then we're going to do dizqueTV, then XMLTV.xml. So that'll go to this file. And next, then we can map it, hit continue, I hit view guide, and here we go. Then we can play it. Give it a second.
Hunting in the dark is dangerous. You never know what is behind the animal.
That's it.